All right, but we are kicking off this Friday morning with one of our friends, Dean Hurst, who now has escaped. The last time we've checked in with him a couple times, he's been at that lovely tiki bar. I thought you were just going to live there. I'm glad to see you show up at other places now, Dean.
They let me out just for a couple hours.
It's a good place to be trapped.
Actually, we're on phase 2 with construction, so they wrap more bamboo on the one side. So now I really feel like I'm in a cage.
Oh. In case you don't know, we're talking about Dr. Barbecue. He just opened a tiki bar right there at the Dr. Barbecue restaurant. But
Yeah,
now he's over at, Dean is joining us from Donovan's Modern American Meatery, which is a really cool concept and I think pretty different, which that's what kind of the Dats family group is known for, is thinking outside of the box.
Yes, casual steakhouse for sure. So it's the deliciousness of the food in a casual setting that just makes you feel a little more comfortable, I guess.
You know what makes me feel a little more comfortable, Dean?
Wine?
Wine. Yeah, wine.
Although
really.
tacos are good too.
Tacos are good. I don't know if you want, take your pick. Do you want to talk wine today, Dean, or do you want to look ahead to tacos? I'm assuming wine since you've got some whites in front of you, which I'll be honest, I've told you this before, I normally don't go to white, so I'm always open for a good education, especially when the temperatures are rising.
Excellent. Well, then this is for you. Specifically for you. So I kind of bookend it with Rosé and Sauvignon Blanc. So Whitehaven is a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. You'll find it a lot of places. It's a delicious way to kind of introduce yourself to what New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc is, which is a lot of grapefruit, like bursting, juicy grapefruit flavors. I don't know how else to put it. It doesn't quite have the grassiness of some of the French Sauvignon Blancs, but it's just delicious and easy to drink. And then on the other side, I put in the La Chamelle Rosé, which is from Côte de Provence in France. And they're known for their rosés, bright, crisp, easy drinking, a little bit of fruit. There's domestic rosés, there's Spanish rosés. You can get rosé from anywhere in the world right now, so it all depends on what palate you like. But I just brought some wines that I thought would be nice for spring. Maybe not your perfect summer drinkers because they're a little rich still, but delicious wines. And then two weirdos, which is... Go ahead.
Dean, I wanted to ask you about rosé because I felt like rosé, like maybe like 2 years was like at an all-time high. Like everybody was talking about rosé. It was everywhere. Is it still as popular? Did it kind of really hold
Definitely.
to that?
Yeah, like 10 years ago, you couldn't find a bottle of rosé to save your life in a wine store. And now you go into Publix and there's 30.
Yeah.
So it says a lot for the local palate that they're opening up to it. And
you think it'll continue that way?
I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, you just go through seasonal drinking. Like if you are a cab drinker, they tend to drink cab. I don't care what time of the day or what they're eating. But if you're more like, if you consider yourself a wine drinker, then you kind of like go with the seasons and you go with, you're trying to pair and match your foods with what you're drinking. So it makes it more interesting. And don't let it get complicated because drink what you like with what you're eating. But don't be afraid to break out. This Falangina is one of my new favorite things.
Okay, well, I'm curious. When you are at a steakhouse like you are right now at Donovan's, you know, again, I've said I'm a red person. I struggle with whites. As my heartburn probably continues to get older, I'll probably have to go straight to whites, but that's a story for another day. What do you look for when it comes to pairing whites when you think of a steakhouse? Because normally you don't think of the two, but I know I'm wrong about this as well.
I always recommend when you go out to dinner, always to bring at least some, 3 or 5 friends, right? So there's 4 or 6 of you at the table, so you can have a bottle of this and everyone gets a little bit less than a glass, 4 or 5 ounces, and you can sit back and enjoy that palate cleanser before you like dive into a heavy meal. That's one way to do it. That's what to me whites are mostly, is that palate cleansing aperitivo, especially these wines. I'm having this before I even pick up anything to eat. I'm washing away my day, my coffee, my breakfast, my lunch, my bad mood, whatever. I'm just washing it away with a glass of wine really quick. White's great for that. When it comes to food, you're looking for seafoods mostly. Even some cheeses work really well with, I should say most cheeses work well with white wine. Yeah, that's what you're looking for right there.
Tell us about that one that you were getting ready to dive into, because when you're impressed by something, I think that means a lot, and you really like that one there in front of you.
Well, I'll never say I'm a sommelier. I just have been selling wine and appreciating wine for such a long time that some of it's stuck. And Falangina, you might look away from it because you don't know the varietal or you don't know the region or what is this crazy wine. But that's why I also recommend getting into a wine shop and letting them know your palate, because then they'll make recommendations for you and introduce you to things you'd never tried before. But what's so cool about this Falangina in particular is just, it has this like tartness to it. It's not all acidity. It has an interesting tartness to it that like passion fruit, when you eat a little bit of fresh passion fruit, that tart reaction your body has to it, your mouth starts to salivate. You just start, like, your senses just become more aware of everything. And I just think it's just the perfect wine, the perfect white wine.
Can we get it at the perfect meal at Donovan's Modern American Meatery?
Currently, yeah, we definitely we added it to the wine list by the glass, and actually, I bought 2 bottles for myself at Burns Fine Wine and Spirits. Give them a little nod. So yeah, it's you, again, get to know your wine shop owners. They'll introduce you to really cool wines outside of just what you might know, and introduce you to things that you should know.
Yeah, we have literally 30 seconds left. Did you mention that last one?
Oh, this is a Moscato d'Asti, which also from Italy. It has a slight sweetness to it, but it's also a little effervescence. So there's a little effervescence to it. So as you drink it, you'll sense the sweetness, but that little dancing on the tongue kind of washes that sweetness away, so it becomes like dry again. It's really super fun. It's not for any wine drinker. It's for the adventurous wine drinker for sure. But we put it on by the glass when we first opened, and it's one of our best-selling white wines. Like, people have really taken to it.
Oh, cool.
Dancing on the tongue. How can you not?
Hey,
I know, right?
Speaking of dancing on the tongue, we're getting ready to transition to tacos. You can do white wine with tacos, right?
Oh, definitely.
You know what? Make your own rules, right? But go ahead and enjoy the friends at Donovan's Modern American Meatery. There's the address and phone number for you to go check them out for yourself. And like we said, we're going to be transitioning to tacos.